Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we're going to be diving back into my craft room organization. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've done any organization videos here, but I really needed to organize my pattern paper, both my solid pieces of paper or like my full pieces of paper and my scraps. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So I don't have as much pattern paper as a lot of people do in their stash because I do work with a lot of white cardstock, large printed photos, and pocket pages. So my pattern paper stash isn't that large. What is really overwhelming to me though are my scraps. And I really need a new system to organize my scraps. But before we dive into that, I'm going to take you over to my current organizational system and kind of show you what's working and what isn't. Okay guys, I'm taking you around my craft room to show you my current system, which isn't working. So I have these drawers here, and this one right here is my scrap paper drawer. And I have all sorts of scrap papers in here. Some are scraps of scrapbooking paper. Some are scraps of like other things. This is like a print scrap where I can use the back. I keep everything because I do like to have all of these things available. Here's vellum, but this just isn't functional. First of all, you can see the drawers can barely close. So I don't have enough space in here. It's also hard to find anything because pretty much I can only see what's on top. And there is a tray in here, which wasn't very functional because the containers are pretty small for the sizes of scraps of paper that are in here. So this just isn't really working. Okay, so I'm also bringing you over here behind my desk for my existing paper organization that is not scraps. Now, a lot of this is going to work and stay how it is, but I do need to go through it. So basically right here, so this is a Calic Shelf. It's a 2x2 Calic Shelf it has 4 cubbies. These 3 have things from Stamp and Storage, which I will link in the description box below. And these things from Stamp and Storage are like solid wood. And while the trays, the sections, like these things do slide out, I think. Maybe they don't. No, actually I don't. Oh yeah, they do. I can feel it moving. Those do slide out. They're not really intended to slide out. So you can take them out if you want like a double shelf, but they're really sturdy. These, on the other hand, are stackable trays that they just kind of stay together, but they aren't really, they're plastic, and those were from Staples. Here I have packages of photo paper of the various types that I use that haven't opened yet. I just buy these on Amazon whenever they're on sale and like to make sure I always have enough in my stash. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is, before I get started, is this box, which I have on my shelf here, and this contains a lot of like ephemera. So these are like little random things that I don't know what else to do with. I have gotten very much into including this types of stuff in my scrapbooks, in my journals, and I just keep it all. Some of it, like these, are so old. These are from like a planner from, I want to say like 2002. Something like that. Like these are ridiculously old. And then here are some things from Brandy Kincaid. There's just various things from like different shops. There's some like scraps of things like from when I purchased stuff. Some of this probably could get thrown out. Some are like cuts from magazines, stickers, all sorts of random stuff in here. I have a 2013 Manhattan Daily Diary. I don't even know. Like, I guess it has a map. It has the MTA maps in here. I don't even know where I got this or why I have this. But I think I kept a lot of these things because it's such fun for mixed media or collage or journaling. And I do use a lot of these things, but this just isn't functional. First of all, this box barely closes. Second of all, I never really go in it because it's so hard to find anything in here. You take everything out and everything ends up all over the place. So I need to find a system to organize this type of stuff along with my paper scraps, and then redo or revamp my full page organization, which you guys saw wasn't that bad, but it does need a little bit of a refresh. Okay, so I searched around trying to find a system that would work for my scraps, and I decided an expandable filing folder would be the best case for me. So it took me a while to find one. This one I ended up getting at Staples. It's not that pretty, and the top doesn't close, which I don't love. It does have this rubber band to go around it, but I probably will just leave it kind of open under my desk. I kind of wanted something that would seal up just to keep out dust. But the main thing, if you're gonna do something like this, is you wanna make sure that the containers on the bottom are fully connected. So this one, they are like all stitched together. So some of these filing folder things, when you open them, there's like a section, but if you put your hand, you can like put it into the next section. So small scraps would just get lost because it would work for organizing full pieces of paper. Because I'm using scraps, I'm going to need to be able to put smaller pieces. So basically what my plan is, anything that is smaller than this size of a 12 by 12 or anything that is a scrap of a smaller page is going to just go in here. This is also going to contain all of the like ephemera pieces. I think that's my hope. I have these different sections here. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is come up with a list and create labels for all of these sections, and I will pop back on here and start organizing all of my scraps and put them in here. Okay, so I went over to my computer and I typed out some labels. These, you can just slide them in here. So there's 25 sections, but 24 spots for labels because the back one doesn't have a label. And I will just use that one for like new things that maybe need to be sorted, or like things that are like ephemera from my current life that isn't really gonna go in yet. I think something like that. But so these are the categories I came up with. I am mixing both my paper scraps and like my ephemera type stuff. So I do have like some categories that are purely obviously for paper, like plain white paper, and then different colored categories. And then I have some that are going to be mixed, like maps and travel, that will have travel papers and ephemera mapped tape objects. So I'm hoping that these categories will be sufficient. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on fast forward, crop these out, and then start going through everything and just sticking it in here. Hopefully that'll be an interesting process. I will speed it up like super high speed. I might do some voiceover, or I might put on music, I'm not sure, but I will definitely be back on after that process to talk you through kind of how it went and work on the next phase, which would be my non-scrap papers. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So everything is in here, and as you can see, this thing is super chunky. Like, it does not squish down more than that, but it also has space to expand even more, which is great. The only thing I'm finding is that some of these, because these are more designed for letter size paper, and a lot of scrapbooking paper is 12 inches, once you expand it, these tend to get narrower. So certain ones like the neutrals are very crammed full. There's other ones that don't really have much in them at all. And I think that this is just kind of, I'm gonna need to adjust my categories over time. So basically I have in the front here, white. So these are any white paper scraps, white cardstock, which I will use that a lot. I will grab it for it to crop like a 3x4 or 4x6 card, often in project life as a base for something. It's just great to have some white scraps. But before, I used to kind of scrounge in my drawer trying to find something. I often wouldn't find anything. So I would just go grab another piece of white cardstock and create new scraps. So I'm hopeful that this will help me use these scraps a bit more. Same with the plain vellum. This is just white vellum, which I often pull you know, to stamp on or do like cut out a few little things, and then I don't need to start a new page each time. Then I have decorative vellum. There's a lot of like solid color ones. There's ones with prints and patterns. I have those all together. Then I get into my neutrals. So I think this is the category that I would probably want to split up the most if I was going to readjust some things. I did neutrals and I ended up with browns, tans, blacks, blacks, grays, anything that had like no real color in it. And there's just a ton. And I think that it could benefit to split that into a blacks and grays category and a browns and tans category. But for now, I'm gonna leave it like this and kind of live in this and see if there's certain categories that I can maybe get rid of. Next, I have specialty paper. So that one I have not a lot in here, but I do have like metallics is pretty much what I was using that one for. Then I have multicolored. So there's quite a bit in this one. These are just like colorful patterns. Then I get into my colors. So I have red and pink together, orange and yellow, green, blue and purple, and then I have florals. And then I have plain transparencies, which includes both divided page protectors and like acetate sheets. I think that most of those categories work really well, minus the neutrals is too full, but otherwise they're all pretty much in use. Then let's see, then I get into packaging. So in the packaging, this one is a bit thick because I do have some of these like Ali Edwards packaging, and Studio Calico ones to cut up. I don't have them all in here. I just have a couple that I started cutting things out of. I have most of those stashed in my closet because otherwise it would fill this entire thing just to put them all in here. But I do like to save certain packaging that is cute that I might want to cut things out. I have some like envelopes in here, mailers and that kind of stuff. I put those all in that packaging one. Next, I have cardboard and chipboard, which is a great one to have. Decorative transparencies, which honestly I probably should put that next to the regular transparencies, but I kind of forgot. Then I have maps and travels. This is like travel scrapbooking paper plus like map ephemera. Then I get into ephemera / fill-in calendars. So these are like the things like these that are like you can fill them in, but anything calendar also. But I also put like any scrapbooking prompt cards or things that you could fill in or that had like words on them in there, which I think would be good for that category. Then anything cut out of a magazine, or like these are out of old planners, so they're like decorative. Book pages and words. So these are mostly like book pages. I did combine like the tag category. So there's like a lot of like loose ephemera that's like purchased in there. Then I added mixed media, which I totally forgot about at the beginning and I definitely need. So I got rid of the tags category and kind of mixed it into the book pages. And so this has like my created scraps of like jelly plate printing, deli paper, that kind of stuff. Then I have art prints. This one's really full. These are a lot of prints from, let's see, Brandy Kincaid, from Life Love Paper, all of those types of shops that I have like just a lot of cute prints from. Some of those will end up going into pocket pages, but basically these are anything that are not the standard 3x4 or 4x6, if they are those sizes, I will put them with my card organization. And I might use these like in mixed media books to make a mini album, that type of thing. But I also might use them to put in Project Life or glue into a journal. Then I have stickers. This category, I think maybe I could get rid of. There's a lot of just like loose stickers, sticker sheets and things. I obviously need a place to put these, but maybe I could organize them with my other stickers. These ones are more just like random ones that are either loose stickers or more like a mixed media type of sticker than like a scrapbooking sticker. Then I have Christmas. These are all like my December daily scraps and that kind of thing. Then I have misprints, scratch paper. So these are anything that has like notes jotted on it. If I just need like a test paper, I have a place to grab. And then the last one, I put just one thing I have in here, which were my daughter's senior picture like prints, but I feel like this is where I'm gonna put like ephemera that's related to my life that I might want to cut up at some point, like ticket stubs and that kind of thing, to specific things that I actually attended. So I think that that is it for what is gonna go in here right now. Then I need to decide what I'm gonna put in the drawer. So I do have this stack of papers that were too big to fit in here because they are taller than this amount. I do have a couple that stick out the top, which is fine, but these ones were much larger than that. But this isn't a ton, so I think I'm gonna keep this large size in my drawer still. And then I also had this tray in there, which did have small scraps, which obviously wasn't functional because it got overfilled. And I don't think it is functional for scraps. I think the scraps make more sense to be organized by color and style like this. But I think that this might work for some magazine cutouts. I do like to cut out words and images for magazines and do a lot of like collaging, especially in my planner and journal. So I think that I might use this for that, to have like words and things like that in here. I have this little thing here, which is what I was keeping that type of stuff in. But it's kind of small and everything's like mixed in here. So I'm thinking that it might make sense to just put stuff in here. So I have like words, and phrases. These can be little images, and these are bigger ones. And then maybe I can do like alphabets or something like that in the other one. Although alphabets really should be sorted by the alphabet. And I don't know that I really have those in here. Oh, and I do have like, these were scraps of paper that are neutral. So I'm just gonna stick those in there. But I think I could sort this stuff in here and keep this in my drawer. And maybe this will encourage me to use a bit more of these words and things, because I kind of got away from this, even though I love the way it looks, just because it is so time consuming to search for things. So maybe this will help. I'm not entirely sure, but at least it's something to try and a way to kind of use that drawer again, because now that drawer is empty. And, you know, this is a good way to kind of put something in it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish organizing my shelves. I think what I've kind of decided is that this is really like the big piece of this. I just need to put stuff back in the drawer, which I will show you guys how I get that set up. And then I'm just gonna kind of straighten up my shelves a little bit. I don't think I need to do a full redo of my shelves right now. I think I wanna live in this system, and I will probably update you guys over on Instagram, or I might share another video in the future if things get adjusted a bit over there. But for now, I don't think that that paper organization really needed that much of a refresh. I went and looked at it and to start doing that, and it just didn't seem that necessary. So I'm gonna pop off here and show you guys how I got everything finally put together and wrap this video up. Okay, here's a look at that finished drawer. It is much less busy. It is much more organized. Basically in here, I have my cutouts from magazines that are smaller words and things. And these ones are printouts. I screenshot and print out a lot of things from the internet from like Instagram and things that I want to include in my journal. So those are there. And these are some scraps of paper that are smaller than the full 12 by 12, but too large to fit in my expanding organizer. If I close this drawer, don't mind my messy carpet, but here is where I have this stored right here under my desk so I can easily access all of those papers. Okay, so I have decided that I like this how it is. I have done a little bit of cleanup, but a lot of it I want to kind of leave it as is and kind of grow in it. But I'm going to take you through and show you what I have. So here's white cardstock, photo paper, copy paper, so just plain printer paper, gray cardstock, Nina white cardstock, chipboard, and colored cardstock. So you can see I created an organization system here previously. I'm going to continue using that system because it is working for me. There's no reason to redo it, but I did want to share it here for you guys on YouTube. Here's additional paper to go in some of these categories that I use frequently that I have not yet opened. Down here I have my less common ones. These are just some like scratch papers, like random ones, colored cardstock, premium glossy photo, matte photo. I do use this one very frequently. Premium matte photo, printable canvas, silhouette, double-sided adhesive paper, silhouette gold foil, silhouette sticker paper, printable vellum, plain vellum, printable transparency, brown cardstock, and this was supposed to be for notepads, which I don't have any in here anymore, but I do have my Shrinky Dinks in there. And I think I have a second Shrinky Dink, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And honestly, I don't know why I bought two. I think I forgot I bought one. Here's just some like samples of papers that I've received from different, like when you buy certain things, they'll give you like a free sample. So I just have that stuff in there. Up here, I have my 6x6 pattern paper. And so I have large prints, black and white, neutrals, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink. I don't have any purples, but I do have an empty one if I ever have purples. Multicolors. These are solid grids. Here's some additional grids. These ones are gold though, or like these ones are, I guess they're not all grids. These are metallics. These are some solid colors. And then down here, I just have a couple of pads that I haven't even broken into. So I do really want to start using this stuff. So look for that in a upcoming video for sure. These are some art prints. And so here's some older 6x8 papers. Some additional, so this is sticker paper. And then I have gray cardstock, browns, and neutral cardstocks. This is like a watercolor paper. And then these are transparent, like the thick transparent pieces. Down here's my 12x12 papers. So here are all of my specialty papers. Transparency, and you can see I have a lot of scraps in here. I put some of those in here. If I only put the scraps in my scrap section if they're really small, because it's easier to pull from here first. Here's a vellum. And you can see I've even put in like a 6x8 vellum in with the 12x12 because when I'm looking for vellum, I often don't need 12x12, but I want to look through all of my vellum choices. Then I don't have a ton of 12x12 paper, so I don't need a rainbow selection here. Instead, I have all my neutrals in here. Then I have, this is my rainbow selection that is in rainbow order. So I've got like pink at the top, and you can see here's like the blues, and there's like, it's hard to flip with one hand and hold the camera. There's like the yellows. So these are the things that are mostly one color family. And then the next section under that are the multicolor ones. Then here I have an assortment of holiday related ones or travel. So they're like in the same one. So I have like a holiday section and then a travel section, even though they're in the same one. Here, these are 6x8 papers, and these are newer ones than these. A lot of these ones are Ali Edwards and stuff, so I just wanted to try to use these ones first. I know that the system, I'm going to outgrow it with the 6x8, but for now, this is what I'm going to live with. And here's my 3x8 papers. Next, I have white cardstock that are like 12x12s. Colorful cardstock. Oops, the shelf came out. The very bottom down here are like grids and basic lines. And then here is a selection of like my most favorite papers, or like ones that I just want to try to use soon. So like I put things in there, and that's going to be like what I grab first when I'm starting a new page. So hopefully like this walkthrough of this paper was helpful for you. As you can see, I have room to grow and things that need to adjust here. The main thing I wanted to redo right now was my drawer of scraps, because that was really not functional. But this system over here is pretty functional, how I have it from how I organized it a couple years ago. I just wanted to share with you on YouTube, and I might update it as I'm thinking about it now, but I want to go ahead and live in it and use some of these papers. As always, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.